Hey Prescott Valley, my name is Lori Hunt and I am your Vice Mayor, and I want to welcome you to Council Chat. And I'm really excited about my guest today. Not only is she a good friend, but she does so much for our community, and it's Kelly Lee, who is the Community Outreach Specialist for the Drug Enforcement Agency. Administration. So welcome, Kelly. Thank you. So, let's start by asking about what Operation Engage is and why we're lucky enough to have the program for 2 years in Yavapai County.
Yes, it was. It's a program out of the DEA, so basically it's federal funding that they have selected 11 cities. So we were one of 11 locations selected last year. So we brought this program to Yavapai County in February of last year. And since we got such a late start getting it rolled out and getting our programming in Yavapai County, they gave us another year to implement some of the same programs, but more programming for a second year. So that's why we got it 2 years in a row. It's, like I said, in 11 other locations, and it's centered around different sectors of the community. So we're reaching youth, we're reaching schools, workplace engagement, stakeholders. We are partnering with towns, local governments, police departments, and we're doing a lot of pro-social programs for our younger kids, and then just some education and awareness centered around fentanyl and opioids. So we were selected because of a proposal that was submitted. We were having some issues with fentanyl in 2019. Right. You know exactly what I'm talking about, and our numbers were scary. And so the DEA said, hey, let's go in and help support what's going on there, bring in some resources, some tools, some funding, and help educate the community on what fentanyl is, why it's dangerous, and what is going on in our local community and our state, because it's a much bigger picture than just here.
Right. And there is a DEA field office down in Phoenix.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason why they submitted for us is our numbers per capita for fentanyl and overdoses were even higher than in Phoenix per capita.
Yes.
So, but all of that's kind of changed.
It has.
Which I'm really excited about, because we have the new overdose death numbers, and there's some decreases I'd like to share. And the first one is that this is the first year in 5 years that Yavapai County overdose death numbers have decreased by 11%.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
We'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other one I wanted to share, which is one of my favorites, is that there was an 80% reduction in teen overdose deaths between 20 and 21.
Yes.
So,
and we were in COVID as well. So
that's true.
There were a lot of things at play that could have made this situation go the opposite direction. And I think the community that we live in, we are so lucky to be here because we have agencies that work together. Law enforcement works together with MAT Force, with the town, with the school districts. We have partnerships that we can share information and get it to the right people, get it to the kids, get it to the parents. You and I serve on the illegal fentanyl work group, and that's where we drive this information to our community.
Right. I want to get back to the illegal fentanyl working group, but you said a couple things, and that is those numbers I quoted were for Yavapai County-wide, not just the town of Prescott Valley.
Yes.
And you mentioned MAT Force. Let's give me like a minute on what MAT Force does.
I can't do it in a minute. MAT Force is the Yavapai County Substance Abuse Coalition. They have been around since, I believe, 2009, and it is a group of local agencies, all the police departments, the sheriff's department, county attorney, working together to tackle this issue of addiction, drugs in our community, and educating our kids. That's a huge component. I started with them in 2012 to be their school educator, and so I would go into any school that would have me and provide substance abuse prevention education for kids. Now they've opened up this programming K through 12. They have all of these programs and events that are just for the kids. We want to reach the kids where they're at, give them the information, maybe counteract some of the information they're getting online, and give them real information, and then hopefully, reach the parents as well with the same information so communication can happen.
But a lot of adult things too, like the reentry program.
Yes.
And
yes, check out their
parenting
website.
Classes. It's
yes.
awesome. Okay, so let's talk about the illegal fentanyl working group. And so quickly, that kind of started because Nikki Indicovich, a mom here of 4 children, approached Kel Pelguda, our mayor, and I in 2020 and said, our kids are going to their friends' funerals.
Yeah.
And that was in middle school.
Yeah.
Because we lost 2 14-year-olds.
Yes, and I have kids in the district. I was constantly having to have conversations with them about their classmates that were dying because of overdoses. So
Right.
I was there too.
Right. So we started the illegal fentanyl working group in February, and it's been great. And I think our charge is mostly public education and
Yes.
working with the schools. And so I know Marilee of Matforce likes to say, I don't know why our numbers have gone down. It has to be because of the education and because of the big fentanyl toolkit that Matforce did.
Yes.
And so you've been a part of that. I know the last week of school for 2 years now, we've stood in the pickup line and passed out materials to 400
We've been to
people.
home shows. We've
Yes.
been to community events. We were at Woofstock. You know, any opportunity we can get to share the information, we'll do it. And we've even had some parents say, "Oh, I saw you at another event and I got the information."
Right.
Okay, well, share it with your neighbors. Share it with your parents if they're helping to take care of your kids. Grandparents need to know this.
Right.
Yeah.
That part gives me chills, so
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything else about the illegal fentanyl working group?
I just appreciate that we have opened up partnerships, maybe that we haven't touched before. We have real estate agents in there, so they need to be educated on this information. They need to know about take-back days and information that maybe they can secure their open houses. There's just other groups that have joined that I think weren't actually thought of in the past, and so it's not your typical coalition work group, but we have made strides in reaching some populations that we may not have.
Awesome. Awesome. And we are a steering committee under Matforce, so
Yes.
that's great. You mentioned take back days.
Yes.
Quickly, what is that?
The DEA does a nationwide take back day in April and October, and that's where people can bring expired or unused medication, no questions asked, and they can drop it off, and we will collect it at collection sites in April and October, and we take everything down to the DEA offices in Phoenix, and we have an incinerator. It's the safest and greenest way to get rid of medications. We don't want people flushing it down the toilet.
Right.
We don't want them throwing it in the garbage
Right.
to end up in the landfills, and we want to keep it out of people's hands that don't need it. And so they started this program. It's nationwide. Yavapai County is wonderful at doing these events. They usually have about 8 locations all over the county. But if you can't make one of those events, the police departments and CVS and Walgreens have drop boxes that you can utilize whenever they're open during their lobby hours, and you can bring your medication there.
Right, so I'm glad you mentioned that because I bring mine to the Prescott Valley Police Department. It's in the lobby. It's
Yes.
very easy,
Yes.
and it's not only prescription, but it's over the counter. So like if your Tylenol expires, I put
Yes.
it in there
Yes.
because we do not want it flushed because we don't want it in our sewage treatment plant.
Right, and it's safe and it's easy, and you're right. We don't want them throwing it away or we don't want it accessible to children. You know, that's the big part of it, and so we've made it as convenient as possible.
Okay, so now Kelly, let's talk about. We talked about Operation Engage. Let's talk about what just took place this last year when we won the award.
So we hit the ground running in February. We started programming in March, and I think one of our first programs that we implemented was we worked with employers on doing a training for employers. They were either local employers or they have a local footprint, so someone from Walmart, someone from Walgreens. But then we had local businesses, our school district, which is one of our biggest employers here in Prescott Valley, attend this training where we showed them workplace modules under our Operation Prevention website where they can go and get access to free workplace training for opioid addiction, what it looks like, how people could get injured at work and they get prescribed opioid medication, and what exactly to look for when you think that somebody's having an issue with that. And so it's free training that anybody can access. It's a module-based program, so they can go through it at their own pace and do all 4 modules or just do one. They can do it in a staff meeting or they can send people to do it individually.
Great.
Oh, and so we'll be doing that again this year.
Okay, good, good. So one thing that I wanted to talk about was Citizens Academy, because Dean and I were in that class, and it was
Yes.
amazing.
So the DEA here in Phoenix did the first Citizens Academy ever up here in Yavapai County last year through Operation Engage. And it was a 6-part classroom and field education program. And it really just shows average citizens how the DEA works, what their mission is, critical case development. How do they get the bad guy? How do they, find out, confidential informants? They walk you through a case study up to prosecution. You get firearm safety instructions. You get emergency medical training. You spend a day at gun site at the firearms training with DEA firearms experts. And then we had a Narcan training and a simulation training at NARDA, which is the Northern Arizona Regional Training Center at Yavapai College, and a graduation. And so it gives you just a full picture of what DEA is all about and how important their role is, especially in Arizona, being a border town, border state. We see a lot of that stuff coming through.
Right. And I told you that the Hubs and I went, and
Yes.
So did our two of our council members,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hepperly and Councilwoman Dickinson, which was great. And I heard you have 6 spots open, so it's filling up quicker this year.
It is word of mouth after last year's training spread. And so I got requests last year, please let us know when you're having it next year. So we are having it in August. First class is August 15th. We are holding it at the Hampton Inn in Prescott. We are doing a gun sight day and a simulation and graduation day at Yavapai College. So it'll be 6 classes, 2 Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and then a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday again.
So it was well worth our time. I think one of my favorite parts, I really appreciated the district attorney being there and
Yes.
talking about how people get sentenced. And that's kind of what made me so passionate about having an illegal fentanyl bill,
Yes.
which we worked this year.
Yes.
We didn't get that bill, but we did get the 9 grams of fentanyl or more is automatic prison time,
Yeah.
not
That's
a slap
policy
on the
change.
wrist.
That's
so that was
something.
really good.
Yes.
But and so I really like that part. But the part that I think was really therapeutic for my husband, because our son is in law enforcement, is the part when the officers were so compassionate about their day-to-day experiences and how police officers are treated, and about how citizens want to take pictures of everything police officers do, and they're just trying to do their job. And so I think that was very therapeutic for my husband, and I really appreciated that part a lot.
We
So-
brought in professionals
Yes.
from the DEA that know their area of expertise well and could give you the day in the life of what they see and what they do. And then the simulation training is very eye-opening for citizens to see those quick decisions that have to be made. And so
Right.
I think it's a good education for anybody.
So what's planned for this year?
So this year we are already doing our dance program at the Boys and Girls Club and at the Prescott YMCA. So we have funding, and through the DEA Education Foundation, we contracted with Lexi again. She is a
good.
local dance instructor. She goes into the Boys and Girls Clubs and the Y and teaches them dance, and then at the end of their session, which will be the last week of July, they will do a little performance and we'll have a pizza party. We bring in a little bit of prevention education with Map Force, and it's just a fun time. It's showing them that there's other positive things that they can choose to do in their life. We are going to do an art program in the fall at the Boys and Girls Club, where we have the Prescott art docents that will come in once a week and do daily or weekly themed art projects. And then at the end of that program, they'll have a art exhibit where people can come and
nice.
see their work. We did a college town hall at Yavapai College in May, where we brought together college students and community members to kind of talk about how we can get more information to 18 to 24-year-olds, because that's another age group that's critical in getting this information on fentanyl.
So tell me, you're going to do youth leadership training again.
Yes, so we partner with CADCA, which is the coalition Community Anti-Drug Coalition of America. They are a highly national recognized group that does prevention training for adults and for youth. And so we're going to bring the trainer in this year in person. It's for 9th through 12th grade students, and it teaches them leadership skills. It teaches them how to solve problems in their community. Last year, we asked them to pick a subject that was important to them, and they all agreed that vaping on campus was a huge problem.
Right.
So then we asked them, okay, who do you bring to the table to help you with this problem? And so they basically did coalition work.
Wow.
They said, let's bring the administration, let's bring a resource officer, let's bring some treatment providers, let's bring some prevention specialists to the table and figure out, where are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Do they not have the information needed to know that it's dangerous or it's not healthy? And so they solved the problem, and then they came up with a PSA to share with their peers on spreading educational information about why not to vape. So
Awesome.
It was full circle, and the kids started out quiet and shy, and then by the end of the week they were ready to tackle the problem.
That's great. So I'm excited about that. You do have slots open. It's going to
We
be here in
do.
Prescott Valley at Park Collective.
It is. It's going to be at the Park Collective. It's July 28th that week. It'll be 4 days from 10 to 3. They get free lunch every day, and they get swag from the DEA. And so there's a registration link on our microsite. So if they go to yavapai.dea.gov, they can use the registration link for the youth training. They can also get information on the Citizens Academy registration.
Great. And that starts again, I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Youth Academy starts July 28th,
Okay.
and it's Monday through Thursday of that week.
Okay. So we need to get some kids in there.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and work on that too. Train the trainer. You're
Train
going to
the
do
trainer.
this year.
We are going to bring in a vendor called Tribal Tech. They do nationwide presentations and trainings. So they are going to host 20 to 25 community members that are interested in getting professional training on how to present prevention information. So if we have, our illegal fentanyl work group, folks from there that come from all different sectors. We have our real estate agents, we have town council, we have teachers, school administration. If they want to come to this training, they will then learn how to professionally give prevention presentations to adults, to children, to their sectors, to their civic groups. And so we want to get them a solid foundation, and then they'll use curriculums from MatForce
Wow, okay.
to do these presentations. And so we want them to understand the workings of it and then go out and share this information. We can't do it all.
Right.
We'd like to.
Right.
But if we have help from other folks working in their sectors, in their civic groups, to do these presentations, then it's more people that are being exposed to this information.
Anything else as we wrap up?
Oh boy. I think if anybody wants any other information, or if they want to contact me, they can email me at kelly.j.lee@dea.gov.
And we'll have that up on the screen as well as some of the flyers we talked about.
Yes.
Kelly, thank you for being here with me. This is great information and very important and near and dear to my heart. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.